Welcome to Fun with Annuities, where every single week I welcome a celebrity guest expert that can help you maximize Chapter 2 of your life. Listen, learn, laugh, and love every minute of the most unique financial podcast on the planet. Let's get to it. Welcome to Fun with Annuities. I'm your host, Stan, the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent, licensed in all 50 states. As you know, got a great guest today, Pam Krueger. She runs Wealthramp.com, just like it sounds, WealthRamp.com, no spaces. Pull it up. Pam, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stan.
Tell us about Wealthramp. Give us the elevator speech and what people really need to know about what that is, the uniqueness of it, and why they should take a visit to that site.
I am struggling to get this down to 15 seconds, and I never have. And we launched in 2019,
Yeah.
and I still haven't got it down to the 15-second elevator pitch. But essentially, look, a lot of people know when they're looking for advice, they want a fiduciary. They want someone who's fee only, because they want someone who works only for them, not someone who sells insurance or sells, mutual funds. So people are looking through the names and the lists of fiduciary advisors and their head spins, because there's 60,000 of them. How are you supposed to know which ones are really truly qualified, which ones are outstanding compared to good, compared to mediocre, compared to dangerous?
Right.
They don't know where to go. So I created Wealthramp in 2019 because so many of the viewers that came from my Money Track series on PBS were kind of yelling at me saying, Pam, give me a name of one of these fiduciary advisors who you have vetted. And I finally put that together in 2019, and I curated a network of 230 independent fiduciary fee-only advisors who have a constellation of different expertise, help different people in different situations, but they all have one thing in common. They're outstanding, because I vet every single one of them myself. So I'm very proud of the network, and that's what I do.
And that's the reason you're on the show. I mean, I'm all for people, most people, even though they already own an annuity called Social Security, a lot of people don't need another one. I'm the first one to say that, even though I sell more annuities than anyone on the planet. From the standpoint of fiduciary, I mean, we are not that, but we do work with the fee-only planners. If an annuity is appropriate, we are that source because we represent all carriers. And I think the fiduciary thing has been played good and bad. I'm assuming you're going to agree with what I'm going to say. You have thousands and thousands of fiduciaries. I always say, fiduciary means you put a plaque on the wall and say, hey, I'm a good guy or I'm a good gal. What does that really mean? And I think what Pam's brought to the table, which I like, is the filtering process of saying, yeah, they're probably a pretty good person, but it's bigger than that. Are they a good fee-only advisor? It's bigger than just hanging a plaque on the wall with the F word. So we're proud to work with, tons of fee-only advisors. And in the annuity world, you shouldn't put any more than 50% of your investable assets in annuities. That doesn't mean you have to, but that's kind of the limit. Well, someone's got to manage the money, right? And that's where Pam comes in with her filtering process. But I know that when we talked earlier, and we're always kind of shooting email messages back and forth, one of your bugaboo concerns right now, which I'm really interested in talking about, are a lot of the people that are retiring and that have to roll over their money from a accumulation account, 401k, 403b, 457, whatever, and they're getting targeted by annuity salespeople with a one-size-fits-all pitch. I'm going to throw the ball back to you and let you fill in the blanks, and then we'll tell the people what they need to know about it.
Yeah, here's what I've been looking at a lot lately. 80% of the people who find me and they want recommendations. I give 3 recommendations for 3 advisors who are fiduciary, who have been vetted, that fit your situation. So 80% of the people coming to me since 2019 are within striking distance of their retirement. They've got a rollover decision. So here's what's happening. And I've been listening to them talk to me. They're telling me, Pam, here's the deal, okay? I'm ready to roll over. And I am getting messaged 5, 6 times a week, emails from our 401k advisor, Johnny Joe, who does Lunch and Learn Tuesdays, whoever it is that shows up once in a while, they're a sales rep for whatever products are being offered by
Right.
that 401k service provider. It might be Fidelity, it might be TIA, it might be Voya. I'm not making them wrong. I'm not making them bad. I'm saying that the individuals are getting messages like this. Da, 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 da. Annuity, annuity, annuity. That's one-stop solution. One size fits all. Your dreams will be fulfilled. Think no more. Don't even think about it. This is what you need. And I'm talking to the employers, and I'm trying to really get into the space in the 401k world and really understand what's happening here from the participant's point of view. That 401k participant is coming to me and saying, hey, Pam, did they not get it that I'm married? I have a spouse, a husband or a wife who also has a 401k.
Right.
That one's not with Fidelity. That one's with Empower. And they're getting messages over here like this, which is conflicting with this. So they come to me and say, God, dear God, can't I just get an independent
Right.
fiduciary fee-only advisor to like what you provide, Stan,
Yeah.
second opinion
Yeah.
on this pitch? And that's what they're coming to me for. So right now, I'm trying to make a big effort to get Wealthramp closer and closer as a tool, as a resource for employees who say, I think I want my own independent advisor. And I'm not the girl to say you need an advisor at all. But let's consider that at rollover time,
Yeah.
these decisions that you're going to make with your rollover and what you're going to do are going to define your retirement lifestyle, your ability to, really retire comfortably. I mean, it's a harsh reality, but you're within that fragile period, and every
Right.
decision that you make has incredible impact as retirement grows closer. So the last thing you want to do, and this is my whole message, we're going to talk about it, but my whole message is, please don't just take a one size fits all recommendation and be in dreamland, believing that you can hear the harp riff and the little cloud over your head.
Yeah.
Everything is just going to be perfect because this solves all your problems. That is a nightmare.
Well, let me go on a kind of a calm vent rant. I typically go on a non-calm vent rant, but what I call this in the business of 401k advice is fishbowl marketing. What happens is a lot of these companies will hire a outside vendor financial advisor from one firm locally, and they'll come in and do lunch and learns and all that stuff. I just think that's horrific. I really wish that would stop because they tend to start selling indexed annuities or variable annuities or something like a big high ticket commission product. And it'd be like if you went to a medical seminar and the doctor giving the seminar prescribed the same medication to every single person in the room. We all think that would be crazy and stupid and not ask about your specific health and your specific situation and your heredity and all that stuff. When these people come in, it's fishbowl. They got you in a fishbowl and you have been working. You haven't been, thinking about financial products or advice or planning. And maybe you have, but even then you need to seek advice, and not just from one person, multiple people. This is your retirement. You take it seriously and understand that annuities, regardless of the type, they're commodity products, meaning that not one's better than the other. If it sounds too good to be true, it is every single time, no exceptions. And also, too, that you should shop all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee for your situation. But some of the pitches coming in there, Pam, as you know, upfront bonuses and all this stuff. And I always call upfront bonuses candy for the stupid. Okay. There's not a philanthropist at an annuity company or an insurance company running that company waking up in the morning going, you know what? I think I'm going to give money away today. No. They're for-profit companies with 100 pennies in the dollar. Just put
Right.
on your thinking cap. The other thing I would tell you too, and I'll throw it back to you, Pam, is if the advisor or agent is trying to be your friend and trying to be chummy, that's not your advisor. I always tell advisors when they ask or when they have me speak, what you need to model yourself around is a cancer doctor. Cancer doctors aren't chummy. They tell you you have cancer and here's how we're going to solve it. Advisors should take what they do seriously You shouldn't know about their golf game. You shouldn't know about their kids. You shouldn't know where they went to school. They should be solely focused on your financial advice. And that's the reason I like fee only advisors. And there's a difference: fee based and fee only. Fee only means they're not selling products. They never will sell a product. They're sitting on your side of the table, which is why Pam is focused on that. Fee only means they can double dip. I mean, fee based means they can double dip. Fee only, no products. Fee based, they can double dip. And the double dipping is horrendous from what I see.
Yeah. Now, couple things. So I made a note because I loved what you said about, imagine the doctor walks into the room and says, all y'all, you're going to get this one prescription because it's going to fix everything.
Correct.
This is it, baby. But now
you'd walk out of the room. Everyone would walk out of the room.
But not only that, imagine that the reason that the doctor is prescribing that one medication is because the doctor is making money with every single sale makes. So that's what's happening. So look, I'm not trying to make record keepers and 401k intermediaries bad people, brokers, or insurance salesmen. Here's my problem a little bit right now, okay? They're not going to like me saying this, but why can't you just call yourself a sales rep? Like, why do you have to call yourself an advisor? Because you're really not an advisor, are you? You're not independent. An advisor is someone who's going to take an independent look. They have no dog in the fight. They are literally focused on you. And a sales rep is going to make a product recommendation because they really believe if they're good at what they do, they might really believe this product really fits you, Stan. It really does. So here's the issue. And here's how this plays out in the workplace, which is kind of what I wanted to focus on. Let's say, you might have read about Tia Kreff, which is arguably one of the largest that manage like 1.3 trillion and have like 5 million.
Now Tia, the Kreff is gone.
Oh, Tia. Look, they have a dashboard, right? And they install that dashboard so that inside the 401k plan, the employees use the dashboard, they use the tool. Now, what they've been accused of, and mind you, they have just settled in a huge lawsuit, okay? So what they were accused of is steering the employee with this tool that's supposed to be called an advice tool, right? But it steers you, surprise, surprise, surprise. Remember Gomer Pyle?
Absolutely.
God, I am dating myself here.
I watched it every afternoon in North Carolina as a kid.
I like that stupid, silly show. Anyway, the judge in the case, in this case, found that there was no question about it. There was enough evidence that Tia was systematically breaching its fiduciary responsibilities to that 401k plan. And this is the shooting fish in a barrel that you were talking about. This is the fishbowl. So look, the plan sponsor, the employer, does not want to become, a sales machine for the products that are being offered within the 401k. Sometimes they unwittingly, because they don't know about it, they don't understand it. They unwittingly, everyone's relying on that record keeper, whether it's Tia, Voya, Empower, Fidelity, and they're all going like this. Oh, you know best. You know best. You're giving best. You're a fiduciary. And then this is what's happening. So there's so much money in the money management business and in getting people, steering people into these products. So it's all about like just stopping and saying, am I thinking about buying this product, this annuity? We call it a product, you and I.
It's a product.
Or out of fear. That's the question I have. Are you buying an annuity out of fear? Because if you are,
don't buy it. Don't buy it. Buy it for the contractual guarantees if the contractual guarantees make sense. And I always tell people, annuities solve for 4 things: principal protection, income for life, legacy, and long-term care. That acronym's PIL. And we ask 2 questions at the Annuity Man. If you go to my site at theannuityman.com and schedule a call, they're going to ask you 2 questions. What do you want the money to contractually do? And when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? Keyword contractual. But if you're in these meetings and you feel like the person up there is a hammer looking for nails, then you're being sold, you're being pitched. And the other thing, Pam, that I have always questioned is, my company is the size that we have a board of directors, and they have a fiduciary responsibility as board of directors to make decisions, etc. The board of directors at these companies, when they decide to bequeath or bless a local firm or national firm that those are the only people who get to come in and talk to the employees about investments, somebody has to explain to me how that is a fiduciary decision on the employee's behalf. It's not. I mean, it really is not. And boards talk about fiduciary and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, a
They're
lot.
asleep. They're asleep at the switch.
Well, they're asleep at the switch until there's litigation
Yeah.
from the employees saying that you only had one person come in. I'm hoping that board of director members will be watching this, corporate people will be watching this, and ask the question, how are we vetting this group? What are they? Have we ever asked them what's the percentage of annuities or package products that they're selling to our retirees? Have they ever done a deep dive into the actual practice of the advice being given to their employees? My advice to you is please do before someone brings it up that you don't want to bring up.
Right.
And there's
Right.
probably lawyers listening to this going, wait a minute, you're
I
telling me.
know. I want them to, because this is the area that I'm starting to get involved in, from the participant, the 401k participant employee's perspective.
Mhm.
So what? Seriously, you're supposed to have a 1 to 2 hour session with some sales rep who calls himself or herself an advisor, who has never done any tax planning in his entire career, has never done an estate plan, has never done any cash flow analysis, never done college planning in case you need that for your kids or your grandkids,
Sure.
and has never met your spouse. But magically, you're supposed to have this product recommendation that
Mhm.
solves all your problems, and you
Mhm.
shouldn't have to worry ever again. So what I'm trying to do is bring a layer of fiduciary advice that's independent from fee only, where they don't have anything to sell, into the workplace, but
Mhm.
not try to put it inside the 401k plan. I'm not going to try to compete with Fidelity or Voya or TIA,
No.
but put it outside in the parking lot, so that give the employees a damn choice. Let
Right.
them decide if they want to hire their own advisor. I'm not going to be there to say you need your own advisor. I'm there to say, if you decide you do want an advisor for you and your spouse, and you want to look holistically at everything, I've got a solution for you. And here it is at work. It's called Wealthramp. But of course, those big record keepers and those gatekeepers, they want to squish me like the cockroach that I am. And I actually am able to demonstrate that I'm actually good for you, because if you include a choice, then you won't be accused of steering your employees in one direction. Give
Right.
them a choice. And then later on, when you're up against the wall, being asked to defend your hardcore sales behavior, they'll say, did you give them a choice? And the employer can say, yeah, we gave them a choice. They had this Wealthramp resource that's a tool as well. But it's all about making people, giving people the power to make their own decision, and encouraging them to do exactly what you're always encouraging, Stan, which is this is a thoughtful decision. And just because the advisor is fee only and fiduciary, don't think that they're not going to recommend an annuity if it's appropriate,
Yeah,
because
it has nothing to do about the reason that we're on this podcast together is that annuities end up being the recommendation because the commissions are so high, and the commissions are built in. You never see them, which is a whole nother argument that I can make, but you never see them. And the longer the surrender charge, the more complicated the product, the more moving parts, the higher the commission for the agent. The other thing, couple more things that, having been in the business for decades, the securities industry, I believe it was in 2003, don't quote me on that, but I was around back then. They got rid of incentive trips. In other words, if you sold enough of X, you get to go to Bora Bora, Italy, and France with either your boyfriend,
I
girlfriend,
did that when I was 25.
whatever. Okay, that's gone in the life insurance industry that issues annuities. That's not gone. Okay, there's incentives, there's back end money, there's soft money arrangements, etc. But if you're an employee getting ready to retire or down, just listen to this for the future, you need to contact your HR person and say, um, do we only have one group that's coming in here? Do we have multiple groups? Can we get multiple groups? And then say, and I need you to get an answer from the board on why, if we don't, then why don't we? I think it can be a ground up swell from the employees that's worked so hard to accumulate this money in a 401k, 403b, 457, and then hold the people in your company, the management team, hold their feet to the fire to have a very good answer on why they either have, you know, multiple choices, fee only, wealth ramp type choices, or if they're just giving it to the local people that are selling annuities. You might want to remind them as an employee that, you know, that's not fair to the employee. You need better choices than that. And there's some exposure there that's going to come down the pike. I'm telling
Mhm.
you right now, it's going to, because the way that, especially, and we have nothing against the indexed annuity space because we use them as a delivery system for income if you need income, but that's a whole nother discussion. What I don't like and what makes my stomach turn is the one size fits all, whiz bang, 30,000 foot is too good to be true approach that is being given at these lunch and learn seminars, and the trust that is being given to these people because they're buying you lunch. You always
Yeah,
tell people, swallow the food, don't swallow the pitch.
no,
So I
exactly.
think it's important, and I think it can happen from Pam pushing the rope, from me pushing the rope, from the employees pushing the rope, from the HR people pushing the rope, and the rope's being held by the board of directors. At the end of the day, they have to step in and say, "This, what is really best for our employees?"
It's just like offering a practical solution
Hmm.
that allows don't make everybody's head spin. I mean, nobody wants
Hmm.
to go talk to 16 different advisors and then figure out from there, which one, like, how do we know? It's just simply having some level of vetted advisor that fits to be able to talk to you. Let's say that somebody is saying, somebody came to me lately and they were saying, I am getting older and I'm looking at investing in a QLAC, which is, the qualified longevity annuity contract. Of course,
Hmm.
this back your
Sure.
hand. That's a deferred annuity in that case and delays payouts. So she was concerned about RMDs.
Hmm.
So they never sat down
Hmm.
and looked at what let's weigh out the pros and the cons. Are you going to have the return of your full investment? What if somebody dies earlier than projected? Um, what about the real benefit of delaying RMDs? You've got to really work on
Hmm.
evaluating that
Yeah.
whole situation before you can make the recommendation. But people will have a particular issue that they need to solve for. And like you said, it's always going to be that the hammer is always the issue, because you're a nail and we're a hammer and that's all. So that it's just getting louder and louder and more
Hmm.
people are retiring.
Sure.
And over the years, this kind of selling in the 401k, around the 401k at rollover time is just getting louder. A very dear friend of mine is the head of medicine, Department of Medicine at an Ivy League school, which I won't say because everybody will know who he is then. But Mike told me, he said, I just talked to him on the phone a couple of days ago, and I said, "Are you getting a lot of emails from, you're about, buying annuities?"
Hmm.
Damn, I'm getting literally 5 to 6 effing emails from Fidelity. Like they're so aggressive. They want me to meet with their advisor, meet with the
Yeah.
advisor, talk, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I get the picture. I get the picture. That wasn't the case even 10 years ago, Stan. It's just gotten to be more prevalent. And the
Yeah.
reason is because the bookkeeping administration side of the 401k plan business, record keeping, which is just bookkeeping,
Sure.
the margins have become razor thin. And these companies, in order to continue to provide that record keeping service, they've
Sure.
got to make money. So they've got to look to manage your money, or they've got to look for ways to get more clients. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think this all comes down to the word urgency. And people hang in there with me because you're not going to believe where I'm going to take this. There is no urgency. Okay. When you're retiring or you're looking to roll money, there is no urgency. If the advisor or agent or salesperson, whatever they call themselves, wealth architect, whatever, says you need to do this because the bonus, the product's going away, there is no urgency to buy a contract. An annuity is a contract. The other thing I want to tell you about urgency, and so if you're saying, well, okay, Stan, that's great, but what do I do? How do I make this less urgent for me and my spouse or me, and tell that advisor and agent what I'm going to do? Here's what you do. When you retire or thinking about retire, you can what's called roll your IRA, non-taxable event, from your 401k to a rollover IRA. It's a non-taxable event, doesn't trigger any taxes. The reason I'm repeating that is I want you to remember that, okay? So what I would tell you to do is slow the game down, as they say. Slow it down, period. You can always take your 401k, 403b, 457, whatever's been deferring, roll it to an IRA, and a bank can take it,
Right.
and do that. And here's
And look at it very thoughtfully.
Yeah, and tell here's what I tell people. When you roll it to choose your bank, Vanguard, whoever, choose it. Tell the person, I'm going to roll this to you, but there's something in your system that says do not solicit. I need you to put me on a do not solicit for a year. And they will do that. Okay? That means that the young buck agent trolling for money market accounts, they can't call you. So
I didn't even know that. I
yeah,
didn't know that.
you can do that. So you can
Wow.
say, put me on that list that I'm not going to be called, because me and my wife, me and my spouse, me and my husband, me and my partner need to take our time and think about it. I always tell people this: make your decision on your terms and on your time frame, not the agent or advisor's terms and time frame, yours. And the biggest key, and really the only thing urgent about this, Pam, is to make a good informed decision. That might take you a year. That might take you 2 years to say, well, I might miss out on the markets. So what? You're in money market. You're not going to lose money. Okay. Put it in money market. Tell them not to call you. Take your time, period. Do not allow people to give you well, you're going to miss the market. And if you miss these 5 days in the last 10 years, all that's garbage. It's about you. It's not about them. Chapter 2 is about you. So in chapter 2, slow the game down.
Yeah,
Period.
because the woman who just came to me 2 weeks ago, I am so disappointed this happened to her, but she's really embarrassed. And I mean, at this point, she feels stupid, and she shouldn't feel stupid, but she did fall into the trap of getting scared about
Mhm.
running out of money in retirement. And then she just took a leap without doing any real homework
Mm.
at all. So, it's true, guaranteed income, the benefit of annuity can provide that. It's true, payout flexibility depending upon the type of the contract, death benefits you can have as well. Okay, but she never ever contemplated and took into consideration the fees and the expenses that reduce her nest egg, the liquidity issues, like how much are you really able to commit to this? Annuities are in context. They have to be made in context
Yeah.
with all of your other investments, or else, surrender charges and liquidity issues. And then finally, Janet Jackson said it best, control.
Yeah.
I like that song.
Well, the other thing too,
Control is
Pam.
when you're getting the guarantee, but you're giving up some degree of control. But these are things that she came to me with,
Yeah.
Stan, after the fact. And she said, oh, it's too late. Da, 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 da. Can I talk to one of your advisors? And I'm like,
Mm.
oh my God. Well, of course, but you know, it's that I'm trying to tell people, and you're trying to tell people, just don't do that. Think, just make it a thoughtful decision.
Yeah. Investments should not be emotional, right? I mean, it should be a pragmatic decision. But I think what the biggest thing that I can convey to people out there is that from the annuity standpoint, I'm Stan the annuity man, for goodness sakes. I'm the first one to tell you that annuities don't fit everyone, and you might already own too many, or you might not need one. In addition to your Social Security, which is the best inflation annuity on the planet. Also understand there's many different types of annuities. They're all customizable. You know, a lot of them are from the standpoint of a lot of people say, well, I'm never buying an annuity because when I die, annuity company keeps the money. You know, okay, that's one of 40 ways to do it. The point is educate yourself. That's the reason I've done thousands of videos, written 7 books on the subject. We want people to understand what's out there and what's being pitched, period. But here's, I always tell people, because they'll email and say, well, I like that. I like the podcast, but you know, what else? How can I protect myself? Here's how you protect yourself from the sales pitch, okay? If someone's pitching you a product that sounds too good to be true, and you're literally nudging your spouse and going, we might want to do that one, Martha. Write down exactly what that agent or advisor says about that product, the way you understand it, the way you heard it. Write it down in detail. Write as many pages as you need. Sign and date it, flip the page around, and have them sign and date it and own that sales pitch. That pen, if they're not telling you the full thing, that pen will weigh 1,000 pounds. And if they're a sociopath, you got them. Okay. That's what I tell people. It's a statement of understanding that you write, and you can include that in the application if you want,
Right.
you know.
The,
And
the,
so
tr- the
be
tricky
care.
part
Yeah.
here is that these people who normally they would seek you out. Maybe it's like you would say the rubber chicken dinner or something.
Yeah.
This is not that. This is at work.
Right.
So you're thinking, oh my God, they've helped me build my 401k forever. They must know what's right for me. They've got all my plan data. They know how much money I have. They know it's all about you. They don't know the spouse or anything. The message that I'm trying to get across today with you is they don't know if it's right for you.
Correct. That's correct. There's no suitability done. And understand too that the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, NAIC.com, that oversees the vast majority on the state level of annuities, they recommend no more than 50% of your investable assets in annuities. Doesn't mean you have to put it there, but that's the max. And that does not include your house, your car, your guitar, land, any of that. It's investable assets. So if Johnny or Joanne agent advisor is saying, let's roll the whole kit and caboodle into a product, the question, if they have they asked your investable net worth? You know, are they going to fill out the application properly to list assets properly so the suitability person at the receiving annuity insurance company can properly vet if that's a product that you should have in that proportion? There's a lot to this. And like Pam mentioned earlier in the program, at my site, theannuityman.com, we're the only ones out there that are crazy enough to have a second opinion button. And that doesn't mean we're going to try to flip and sell you anything. We're literally going to give you a second opinion on what they're showing you, on what they're pitching to you. We have a team in place that just does that, if you can believe that. Just because this happens so frequently, and we did a bunch of focus groups, and what came back is, boy, we would really like a second opinion on this. So, you know, of course, I'm not that smart, Pam, as you know. And I went, you know what? Let's have a second opinion button. That's how that all started. But we've really helped people and saved people.
Yeah, I mean, that aligns with your whole philosophy.
Sure.
You know, you are not just Stan the annuity man, you are Stan let's look at your whole picture and see if and how and the right kind of annuity, because you know every annuity type of contract like a compendium. You're like a walking compendium. And your whole point is that I can help you with that second look. We can help you take a look and have your eyes wide open. So, you know, that's all this is about. So it just happens to be that there's just a lot more noise happening in the workplace when you are getting ready to roll over, and you may not even realize how vulnerable you are, and you may not even realize how much you have come to rely on your employer and your 401k advice as being the be all end all. And I'm sorry to do the record scratch, rip across, but I've got to do it so that you can stop and say, hold on, you know, this person does not know me. And, you know, usually, even when they have wealth management solutions inside the 401k plan or the 403b, they might have multiple vendors. And they may have, typically, this one university I can think of right off the top of my head, I won't say who it is, who has 14, they brag, okay, they say, we've got 14 representatives that are advisors They're
Mm,
salespeople. They're sales reps, but they call them advisors for 36,000 employees. Okay, so do the math.
yeah. That's fish in a barrel stuff, and people will being contrarians. I want people to be contrarian with me. Everybody that sits in my office, and we're based in Las Vegas, Nevada, and sell contractual guarantees, which is the ultimate contrarian. There's no risk. All of those people are licensed, but they're not on commission. I mean, I've created a business model where they are doing the right thing. They're judged from our standpoint on advice, not commission, which flies foreign to the annuity industry. The annuity industry, the ironic part about it, Pam, is, with 13,000, 14,000 baby boomers hitting age 65 every single day, there is a demographic tidal wave of people looking for contractual guarantees, whether that be principal protection or lifetime income or whatever it is. But the industry has allowed things to get a little bit out of hand from a sales standpoint. I don't really blame the carriers, because once the agent army's out there, you can't really oversee what they're saying. That's the reason you have to write down what they say and have them sign and date it. You kind of have to protect yourself, but hopefully we're getting through on the fact that take in the lunch, take in the dinner, take in the information, but don't fall for that only.
But can we stop calling them advisors?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
okay. My pet peeve is that it's like, I used to do this for a living. Okay. When I was 25,
mhm,
26, 27, 28, I was called a broker back then.
mhm,
I wasn't called an advisor. Okay. So now along came this brand new thing called the internet, and it changed
right,
everything. So suddenly everybody in the insurance and everybody in the brokers world become their sales reps. I was a sales rep. Now I'm
mhm.
an advisor. And it's very misleading. And I don't understand why you're embarrassed to call yourself a sales rep. Why
It,
do you have
it,
to call yourself an advisor?
it,
That
or
to me,
made up phrases like wealth architect, which drives me crazy.
self
It's like, what
engineer.
are
Yeah.
you talking about? So it, the transparency, this all could be solved. Most problems in the world is a communication problem and a transparency problem. Period. It's just telling the truth. What you're going to have to do as a employee, as an HR person, as a board of director, as someone within the company, is just make sure that happens. Make sure that transparency happens. It's good for everybody. It's good for the employees. It's good for the firm. It's good for the company. It's good for the board of directors. Brutally factual transparency always works. And demand answers. If you're a company that has a group that's coming in and they've been, to your knowledge, doing well, and everyone likes them, still ask the question, what are you selling? What's your product breakdown per client? Because so if you see an inordinate amount of percentage of sales going to a specific type of annuity type product, that's a huge red flag from a
And of
fiduciary
course,
standpoint.
it's coming out of the employee participant's pocket. And you know who loses? You know who loses everything? The company, the plan
Yeah.
sponsor. The company who was asleep at the switch
Yeah.
is saying, I'm relying on them. They know what they're doing. They're fiduciaries. And so they just kind of go to sleep. And then they're
Yeah.
the ones that get,
But
not,
they're fiduciaries too, and they forget that.
yeah, that they really have this huge responsibility.
They
So
do.
I'm kind of hoping that I'm going to have some success in walking, Wealthramp, which is independent, 230 independent fee-only advisors, rigorously vetted and monitored,
Right.
put it in the parking lot so the employees can see it. I'm not saying push it. I'm saying just make it available so they have a choice. So it's not shooting fish in a barrel. They have a choice. And thankfully, I had a employee benefits law firm, Wagner Law, write a white paper about what I've created for the workplace. And they've said it adds fiduciary advice without adding fiduciary risk to the employer. I don't want to hurt the employer.
No.
I'm trying to
You're
help
helping. No, you're helping them.
think
You
through
are
their decisions.
providing a protective shield for potential litigation if somebody buys a product and then was asked, were you shown other things? And if they answered no, that's not a good thing. There's exposure there from the employer side. Hopefully there's some people listening to this, I'm sure there are, that are going to go, wait a minute, That might be worth bringing up at the next board meeting. That might be worth bringing up to the HR person. That might be worth bringing up in the next lunch meeting, is asking that advisor, can you provide us a breakdown of the products that you sell,
Yeah,
percentage wise?
this is a very unusual environment to make an annuity sale, a very
Oh, it's
unusual environment.
bizarre.
It is like I'm at the gynecologist in the middle of an exam, and, of course I'm going to take whatever, they're prescribing. You're already there. You're already at retirement. You have this trust. And I'm telling you, that's the problem,
Mhm.
is that level of trust that an employee has in their employer. And they've seen that fees can be really high in mutual funds. They've seen, all these things in the news about employees that have sued their companies for various breaches of fiduciary responsibility.
Yeah.
But this one is a no-brainer. And I really want to get across, and so do you, to
Mhm.
the actual participant, the end user, the 60-year-old, the
Mhm.
65-year-old, the 70-year-old, and their spouse, just exactly what you were just saying, this is a thoughtful decision. And it really is going to impact your lifestyle for the rest of your life. Don't
Sure.
do it out of fear.
All right, Pam, we're gonna have some fun. It just hit me an idea that only me and you could pull off because
Mhm.
we're kindred spirits.
Oh, no.
It's gonna be called brutally factual fiduciary tennis. And what we're going to do is we're going to, each one of us, I'm going to go first, then you're going to go, and then I'm going to go until we run out of tennis balls. And what we're going to do is kind of wrap all of this up on we've talked a lot, but what are your action steps? What are some advice? And we're going to go backwards and forwards and have some fun. I think you'll probably win because your IQ is much higher than mine. So here we go. My first tennis ball is, and these are walk away, take away, fun things for you to remember. Here's mine, and I'll do it. We'll go back and forth. Go to the lunch seminar. Swallow the food, not the pitch. You go.
Um, you want to eat the food with your eyes wide open, and you want to know, what's in the food that you're eating. You got to
Okay.
have your eyes wide open.
Here's mine. Ask hard questions to everyone. That includes the board, that includes HR, and that includes the person trying to sell you the product. Go.
Seek out someone who doesn't have some way of benefiting from the sale, from the product that they are recommending. Let your instincts scream, I am not getting an independent opinion. I need to take my time and find the right independent opinion. Maybe it's Stan because he's going to give me a second opinion. Maybe it's Pam because she's got Wealthramp, but I need a second opinion. Stop.
Okay. Here's mine. Nothing is urgent. No product is urgent. No sale is urgent. Take your time and let the game come to you. You can always roll over the money, non-taxable event, to a rollover IRA and take as much time as needed, and tell the receiving company that you do not want to be contacted or solicited. Go.
That's huge because I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you think they know you. You've been there a long time. They're paternalistic. You've known them for years. They don't know you. They've never met your spouse. They don't know your kids. They don't know you have a special needs situation, or that you have stock options, or that you have real estate rental properties. They don't know you.
Here's one. It's a golf analogy. A mulligan is when you hit one in the lake and you put the ball back on the tee and hit the second ball. In retirement, there's not many opportunities for mulligans, and especially in this situation, you've worked hard to accumulate this money. Once again, take your time, let the game come to you.
I just think you're wrapping it up here, honestly. I mean, we're gilding the lily at this point. I guess my last one would be what I've been saying all the way through, because I see it all the time. Don't buy anything out of fear.
Yeah.
Okay? Just don't buy it out of strength and knowledge, not out of fear.
Last thing on my end, you can close with yours. This is the last thing I'm going to tell you. Just remember this. You already own an annuity. It's called Social Security. The question is, do you need more? You might not. But understand that annuities, all different types, are commodity products. There's not one better than the other. So if the person's standing up there trying to sell you one product, then it's probably best for them and not for you. You should shop all carriers, and that's under the assumption you actually need an annuity type product. Final words.
Final word is get a dog.
No, I agree. I do.
Kiss my dog.
Yeah, I do encourage people to take some time, go to wealthramp.com, wealthramp.com, just like it sounds, wealthramp.com. It's a
Like,
great site.
like,
It's
and this is iced tea. It looks like a good, strong.
this is Perrier, but you know,
Well, cheers, cheers.
cheers. And I want to
Thank you.
thank you, Pam, for being on. This isn't our last rodeo doing this, but I want to thank every single person that's given us their time to listen to this, which is very important. And if you're one of those people that's in that zone of either being pitched or having to make decisions, hopefully this will be a good resource for you. Hopefully Pam's site at wealthramp.com will be a good resource for you. And if someone's pitching you annuity, you can go to theannuityman.com and get a second opinion, non-salesy answer, brutally factual, that can help you. At the end of the day, Pam and I have been doing this a long, long time. I know we look vibrantly young, but we've been doing this a long, long time, and we really sappily want to help, and we want to clean this mess up for the consumer, and that's what we're trying to do. I think the older I get, Pam, is that becomes more of a driving force, is trying to flip the narrative out here and make it a safer place, not totally safe, obviously, but a safer place for the consumer. I'll leave you with the final comments.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you that if you told me 10 years ago that I'd be doing this, that I would be referring people to financial advisors, I would have said, you're crazy.
Yeah.
This is an industry that I want nothing to do with. But at the end of the day, I've fallen in love with doing this. And I'm so proud of the not myself, I'm proud of the advisors. It took me 2 years to curate this network. And you know, their client retention rates are 98% for a reason.
There you go.
So, you know, I give my props to them, and I'm just a resource. That's all. You can reach out to me directly.
Well, thanks so much. My name is Stan, the Annuity Man. You have been watching Fun with Annuities. I'll see you next time.